What's everybody? It's time for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 285. It is September 18th, 2025. And as always, I am so happy to be alive. Before I get into anything today, let me start off the way I always do by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. You are the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, subscribe. Opportunity, you want one to be a guest or tell your story, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's the official email of the podcast. Don't forget to send an audio, video, or type it out. Of course, don't forget about that link tree. It's in the description below the video, along with all of the links discussed on this podcast today. All right, and now with all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into the pod. What's happening, everybody? How are you doing? I'm going to be, this is going to be a heavy podcast. I want to let everybody know right off the bat, I have rearranged a ton of things to make this one 385. So before I get started on the topic at hand, warning. I don't know if YouTube's going to allow me to play some things, whatever. But Rumble, Spotify usually allows everything. So again, my short was taken down by YouTube, and I am not battling so much with alcohol, all that other good stuff. Tomorrow's the 14th, 9 years alcohol free for me. Feeling good about that. Anger issues off the charts today before I sat down to record. Want to know why? Just an update on my phone. That's right. My phone completely did an update and was not working with a couple of my apps. And because it took 2 hours to get something done that I normally do in 45 minutes, I lost my shit. I lost it so bad, everybody. I broke a chair and I dented my dead grandmother's armoire. Now I'm about 3 hours separated from the actual incident. And of course, I've calmed down and I've looked at everything I did, and I am very upset with myself. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know what to do, everybody. It's so tough. Why does it seem like as soon as I have a handle on one thing, I lose it on the other? And why does a simple phone update completely break me at 45? Why? I'm not sure. That's not what we're here for today. But I wanted to let everybody know that, yeah, I might not be struggling with my addiction, but I still struggle in life. We still have issues. We still got weight on our shoulders. There's still more to deal with. But doing what I did today is not the way to deal with it. It's not the way to deal with it. Throwing a chair, throwing my phone, getting upset with my wife, kind of getting upset with a couple of my friends. There was no reason for any of it. And so here I am publicly saying this. I'm really sorry, everybody. I know I already sent messages out. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, super shitty. No one deserves it. And I've got to manage this anger a lot better. I go to class, I do my things, but I don't know, man. A phone update broke me today. That's all it was. There was nothing else. If I had just done my shorts when I was supposed to, if I had just gotten my social media up when I was supposed to, if I had just done what I was supposed to, probably would have never affected me. I probably wouldn't have noticed because I wouldn't be using it until Monday. But because I chose to not get things done and then put myself under the wire to get them done, that phone update really affected my way of thinking this morning and caused my anger to get out of hand again. So, yeah, it's very frustrating, everybody. Like I said, it's not really the alcohol anymore that I struggle with. I personally don't worry about alcohol too much. I definitely just don't want it around me as much as possible. But, you know, the anger thing, I think, is something that's really, really got to go. It's got to go. It's got to go, people. I got to put my foot down, and I got to fix it. But we are here today to talk about Charlie. Charlie Kirk. Man, I didn't know anything about this guy. I'll be honest with you. All I know is that he was a Republican. He was somebody that had my vote. To be honest with me, names escape me. I know that he had a lot to do with Trump's election this time around. That's one of the reasons he got on my radar. First thing I want to say before we go into everything that I got lined up for you today, and I'll probably say this again, but this is not okay, everybody. This is not okay. This should not be encouraged on either side. We should not be doing this. This is cowardly. It shows weakness, kind of like when I broke my chair. And it shows that your side is slipping. It always shows that they have nothing left. And when people feel like they have nothing left, this is what they resort to. Because their words were incapable of breaking through his words. He was a far superior debater. And we're going to get a closer look at that today and in a little bit of a remembrance. And I'm blown away. I'm saddened. You know? I'm an independent. I swing on both sides when it's necessary. But at the end of the day, man, you know, the people that are really doing what's best for America today, it really is the Republican Party. Because this cannot be allowed. This cannot be praised. And I hope that the message is never lost from Charlie. If anything, it's gotten the response that he wanted if anything was going to happen to him. All right? So, this is not right for America, everybody. This is not right. This is not the way we do things. We need to be better than this, America. And think of his family, his wife, his kids, and the fact that he will never be able to go home again. But hopefully, out of this tragedy, his words will never be lost. And I don't think there's anything else I can say, because there's nothing you can say to make any of this better. But I want you to understand Charlie Kirk for the great debater he was, for the way that he used his words, and for the things that he was going to do for this country. He allowed everybody to have a voice. He was doing all the things we all say that we need to have done. So when everybody sits there and goes, you know, well, it would have been a different place if JFK wasn't assassinated. Well, now we have to say the same thing about Charlie Kirk. I really felt like this guy was going to be something great for the country because I've always said that this country needs younger blood. The country needs people that are actually of age of the people that are coming up, because the dinosaurs need to go away. And unfortunately, losing this 31-year-old that could have been sitting next to, I don't know, Vance, as vice president or something else. This is a major, major loss and a real, smack in the face to our democracy. But the nice thing is that I've heard a lot of people talking, and what they have said is that they're not backing down. This does not scare them. It scares a lot of them. Definitely scares, their families. But the people that are still speaking out are going to continue speaking out. All right? And that's what's important. We can't stop speaking out. Ever. You can't silence us with your violence. But I'll tell you right now, that was straight up violence to get their point across. We're not going to let them get there. We're not going to let them have it. It's not going to happen. So everybody, excuse me. This is just, this is so heavy. I can't even believe what I witnessed on September 11th. I thought it was just going to be another week of, all the 9/11 stuff. It was supposed to be, I know remembering 9/11 and the people that perished in 9/11 was like, but I really thought that it was going to be, a week. And man, when we finished digging holes and got back into the truck on September 11th, this is not what I thought I was going to be looking at on my phone. It was so jaw-dropping and shocking to see it, because we've never seen it like that before, right? Just mind-blowing, everybody. Mind-blowing. But let's remember his words, the way he was doing things, and where he was going to be taking this country, because I'm telling you right now, he will not be forgotten. And the people that will carry on his message is all of us. All of us, dude. These messages will be out there on the internet forever. Always pushing his word. Always showing what a great debater he was. And how his words, man, they were good. They were real good. And you know what the problem with that was? It made a lot of people angry because they couldn't make sense of it. Because why? Because they weren't making sense. And here we go. Here we go, everybody. Charlie Kirk.
The American way of life means you follow the law, you work hard, you honor God, you raise your kids with strong values, and you work to create a civil society. The American way of life means you speak your mind without retribution.
It's absolutely correct, man. Again, that's just me. I don't, look, religion's religion, okay? I've noticed that all Republicans, lean towards God, and that's fine. That's fine. It's about the only thing I'm wishy-washy on. But he's absolutely right in his message. In America, you're supposed to work hard, and then you raise your kids, good morals, good values, decent human beings, and then you help build a better society. And that, unfortunately, is a little bit further away than most of us would like it to imagine it. But that was what was supposed to happen, you know? And he's right. We should be doing all of those things. But it is more difficult to do it today. And I think that's where we see a collapse in the society, is not being able to get to that American dream, right? But he's so right in what he's saying about it. And now, I got this right here. This is great.
Core of the left, at the core of a liberal, is someone that would use the sword if they had it. They are very violent people at their core. They always have been. They can't debate. They can't have conversation. So they'll resort to these tactics. They're going to do everything they possibly can to try to murder this movement because they can't beat us. So they're going to try to take weapons. And no, we're very aware of that. I'm aware of it. We have to have full-time security. This is not a joke. This is who these people are.
I've never felt that to be more true than today. I always was like, well, maybe they won't, but we've seen it over and over and over again where they do. They use the sword when they get the opportunity, don't they? Why? Because they're so incapable of being able to use their words. They don't know how to use their words because they don't know how to defend what they're doing, because they don't actually believe in it. They don't actually believe in it. It's just a gimmick. It's just something that they dangle in front of your faces to make it seem like they're the good guys. And it's just, it's just so not true. It's so not true today. It was true in the 90s. It was true years ago. But it hasn't been true in over a decade. It's just this thing that they throw at you so that you don't look at what's actually behind it. Because the message behind all of that, unfortunately for Charlie Kirk, we got the message. You will use the sword if you have it. So, breaking news. Charlie Kirk refused a funding offer from Bibi Netanyahu in his final days. Charlie came to see Netanyahu as a bully who sought to drag America into foreign entanglements. Netanyahu just lied to the world and said they were friends. So this is just a tidbit of some of the things that are going around right now. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, we're going to touch on a lot of subjects because as of right now, there has been 4 suspects, okay, just to kind of keep you up to date here and kind of fill you in with what I'm working with before this comes out. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we've had multiple suspects. Supposedly, the kid that they captured at this moment in time was turned in by his dad because he said that he did it, and his dad turned him in, and his brother or something, I think, or a friend. Because they were like, this is crazy, we're not going down for this, which makes a lot of sense, right? But you're also at the point where, a lot of people out there think Israel is the biggest enemy of all. And I'm not saying I'm not with them. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that also believe in this. And I do think that Israel is more dangerous than China. Only because, friends usually are the ones to turn on you first. I mean, as you grow up, it happens. Calm down. But if Netanyahu lied to the world and said that they were friends, and he actually found him to be, an enemy or somebody that is just a bully bringing America into his entanglements, which I definitely have said a few times, then this could also look like an Israeli hit because, he was against the war. As far as I know, I may be wrong. I may play a video that'll completely contradict myself. I told you, I don't know everything. I'm just kind of going with what I've learned and absorbed over time. Now, if this is true, and that could be a possibility, that is also pretty wild. I mean, is it possible that the person they actually captured as of this moment that was turned in by his dad is actually the person that did it? I still have a couple questions, and we'll get into that as we move on. But Charlie knew, and they had to tie up loose ends. Okay? So this video continuing on with the Israeli theory is very interesting to me.
Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true the Anti-Defamation League was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country that have done that. In fact, we have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Kopperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful. The part of the, so that's totally true. And by the way, Tucker Carlson reinforces this. So I'm going to it was quite a day on the internet. Tucker Carlson was interviewing Candace Owens. We have Candace Owens coming up next hour. And Tucker Carlson mentions that Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week, and people came after us.
We were on top of it.
We actually said it in a different way. We said, I'm glad that Jewish Americans are reconsidering their financing of cultural Marxism. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this.
And then this is something I brought up a couple weeks ago, I believe, where that head, I don't know what they're called, but the Jewish guy there, it was the plan all along to wipe out the white man, integrate other races, and that's how they're going to wipe them out over time, because if you mix the races and they have babies, then they're no longer white. And this is something that's been going on for a long time. But nobody wants to talk about it because of white privilege and, I'm a toxic man and blah, 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 But, man, it sounds like something we've talked about, a couple times now. And it's been brought up over, decades and decades and decades. So for Charlie Kirk to bring it up as well, that just goes to show me that I don't think we're that far from the truth. And maybe he was, onto something. And if he was onto something, well, that's usually when this stuff happens, right? There's only a couple reasons why this is going to happen, especially publicly like that. First of all, you're definitely sending a message, right? You're sending a message. And second of all, you're also showing that you're out. You're out of options. You've got nothing left. Last resort to get your way. Because that person could not be bought. Whatever Netanyahu or whoever, he was not going to stop with his message. So whether it's the Democrats, liberals, left side, or it's Netanyahu, Israel, Jews, whatever, if it happens to be either one of them, whenever the truth comes out, let's be real about that. I mean, we're still looking for the truth in so many of these types of situations. The only difference, the things that are on our side right now, is the amount of video. So it's really hard to say yay or nay on a lot of things with the amount of video that has just been dumped on the internet, well, within the last 72 hours. So that's what's going to make it harder for them to bury this one, because there's way too many eyeballs on it. But you always know that there is a possibility that it could just disappear. Okay, look, I got some more breaking news, stuff that's just coming out. September 12th, 4:17 p.m., we have a video, the smoking gun, point blank killer. I mean, Charlie Kirk did know that they would use the sword. He did refuse Netanyahu's, I don't know if you could call it generosity or whatever he wanted to promise him. He turned him down. But what if the shooter is the patsy? And what's really behind everything is what he turned down. So let's find out together. All right, let's check this video out.
So while the rest of the country is told to be aware, be cautious of...
Look at the person in the chair, person to the left, and this person.
Lone gunman with the impossible rifle. Well, the killer.
Oh, did you see it?
Just as I originally thought, was point blank. And amongst us the entire time, but more importantly, amongst Charlie Kirk, in his inner circle. And that's how the nefarious ways of the Mossad of Israel control the narrative.
Dude. All right, hold on a second. Did you see that? Did you see that third person with the green shirt on and the gun? Holy shit, dude. What is happening right now? In the middle of editing the podcast, I just got this crazy news. Let's rewind it. Okay, I'm going to look at this third person in the green jacket and the trajectory of the bullet. Remember the gentleman with the camera on. He made a military signal and tipped his hat. Now, as I move the video forward slowly, you can see he gets hit. This person here sitting in the chair behind him, you can see, okay, so again, videos are so difficult sometimes, but that looks like smoke. This is the red line that somebody had to draw, right? Why are we drawing lines, guys? I get it, but can we see the video without your drawings? Oh, he's not sitting, he's standing. That was the other guy that makes the arm signals. Oh, it wasn't the... All right, that looked green to me. I guess it's more of a gray-blue shirt. There's the hand signals. I wish okay, so let me throw something out real quick. Is he not looking at anything on his phone? His phone is blacked out, so it's up there for no reason. It's a decoy. You seeing that? There is nothing on that man's screen. Why are you holding your phone up? Why? The arm signal. Watch it. Right behind Charlie. There it is. Right there. Right there. Palm up. Palm up, everybody. Who is he signaling to? That guy there? Watch. Right here. Watch that.
The entire time.
See how he moved? What is that signal? What is that signal right there? What's this guy doing? What is... Here, let me put it on the camera so you can... He's doing this. You see my hand on my chest? Making like a circle? What the fuck? Is he indicating where he was hit? Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Am I really seeing this? Is this... But doesn't it look like he's being signaled? And I'm not trying to show this part of the video, but you have to take a closer look, because if you look at the gentleman right here with the glasses on. I know it's difficult, but try not to pay any attention to what's actually happening in the video. Look at the man with the glasses on with that gray-blue shirt. Look down in the corner where I'm spinning my pointer. Watch it slowly. Oh, did you see the gun? Look at that gun, dude. There's a gun right there. That's a pistol. There it is. Holy shit, everybody. Holy shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, I already had doubt about the gunman. So, this one here is done by, I think it says Road Pather. Sorry, the name has been blocked out, but I'm going to play this one. It's just more on his, his genius, really. The way he spoke to people was amazing. And there have been a lot of these videos that I wanted to use today taken down, which I think is wrong. Again, they're hiding their side. And I think that's absolutely wrong, because the way that they are acting right now should not be suppressed. It should be looked at, because these people are praising what just happened, and I think that's disgusting.
God is not the author. Certain people wrote the Bible.
They transcribed it, for sure.
From what?
Well, Moses heard from God, and he transcribed Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
But Moses wasn't alive when all of these other people were writing the same book.
Okay, right. So what you're talking about is, again, there's one author, many transcribers, but that actually proves the point of the Bible. Because if there was only one person that wrote it, then it might have been just kind of one person's opinion. Instead, you have Solomon, who wrote Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, King David, who wrote Psalms, and then you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then you have Paul, who wrote 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Romans, and 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, and Jude. It kind of proves the point that all these people weren't all working together, yet 66 different books all came to the same conclusion, that there is a God. We are not him. We're in constant rebellion against that God loves us so much, because God is love, that he sent his son on a rescue mission to save us from our broken nature so that we can live forever.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're getting off a topic. So basically...
Did I get off topic, guys? I don't think I did.
Because if... Okay.
It's okay.
But so But it doesn't all come to the same conclusion because there are multiple stories in different books, there are multiple stories of the same story. And all of these writers...
Like what? You mean like the birth of Jesus?
Yes.
But they're not contradictory. That's actually what proves
They
the
are
point.
contradictory.
How is the birth of Jesus? Explain to me. I'm...
Some of the stories say that it happened at a different time. Some of them say that they happened at a different place.
No, that's interesting. So that's not contradictory. That actually proves the point. So for example, if right now, God forbid, there was a big car accident and there were 5 witnesses, someone would say, well, I think he was wearing a yellow shirt, and someone would say, well, I think it was like a yellowish red shirt, and someone would say, I think the car was red, and then what the fact gatherer does is they'll see a pattern between that, because even when you have a lot of eyewitnesses, not everyone's eyewitness will be exactly the same, but everyone will agree, oh, there was a car accident. And that's how the birth of Jesus was. They weren't disagreeing that there was a virgin birth or that it happened in Bethlehem, but some of their details might have been inconsistent, which actually proves the Bible is true. It proves that they were not all deriving off the same canonical document. It proves that these were 4 different accounts that went out to try to find the truth, and people might have had different variations of it, but they were talking about the same elemental event.
See, this is the beautiful spiritual genius of Charlie Kirk. Not only did he prove the authenticity of the scripture and how it came together, but he also used it to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ at the same time. We're going to miss Charlie. What a genius.
Dude, that is absolutely crazy. Wow. Wow. That was something, man. That one hit me. That one hit me. He is really, really a genius with his words, isn't he? Wow. Wow. What a tragedy. What a tragedy. So, but do you see what I'm getting at, where I'm going with this? His words were so impactful that this thing in front of him was completely and absolutely stopped in their tracks. Because why? Because you heard it. That's broken. You have no more information to go off of because you're wrong. And boy, does that make them so upset to be wrong. My way of thinking is wrong. Yeah, that happens. Sometimes we are wrong, but you have to be willing to accept when you're wrong. And the fact that, they all came to the same conclusion that the event happened, but all the variations of the details really got my brain ticking. That's crazy. I never thought of it like that. Instead of looking at the inconsistencies of the details, look at the fact that everybody agrees that the event happened. That's a great way of thinking of it. Holy shit. Wow, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing, guys. Man. All right. So this one here, again, another, I think this is another debate here.
Black community, dads are the most.
I never really have any captions to read. So let's listen to what he has to say here.
Unfortunately, in the black community, dads are the most absent of any community. About 2/3 of all black youth will be raised without a stable father around. And I know it's crazy, right? And that little precious angel of yours deserves to have a father around. For daughters and for sons, it's different things. For a daughter, that's a father figure to look up to say that is how a man should act, and someone that I ought to one day marry, someone that will protect me from a vicious world, and someone that makes me understand what strength and not brutality looks like, what justice but not revenge looks like. To have a father figure is a silent way of forming a child to be a mature citizen. And unfortunately, as we've removed dads from families, government has come in and has taken the place. So some people need help and they need social assistance. All of that should be about incentivizing the dad staying around, not the dad leaving. Unfortunately, with welfare, you can get more money for single mother assistance.
This is very true.
And so we, right, you agree, we're actually subsidizing single motherhood more than we are subsidizing family formation. The number one objective of any social welfare program should be, how do we keep the family together and put dads back in the family? That is the number one priority.
All right, so this was done by the Gray Face Podcast. I don't know if they're going to let me play that video, everybody. So if it gets cut out, it's got music, I let it play. Rumble, Spotify is where you'll find it, okay? This could wind up being another YouTube edit, even if we're honoring Charlie Kirk, because, you know, it had some music in there, you know, whatever. So, but again, he's been called the racist. How is he racist, everybody? How is he the racist? Dude, all I've heard is good things coming out of this guy's mouth. And he's right. Why are we leaning on single motherhood more than united family fronts? Why? Why? Of course, you know why. It's easier to control. It's easier to control. Not because it's a woman. Because now they're giving you what you want, what you need, right? They're taking care of you. You become dependent on that. When you become dependent on it, they got you. They got you. It's all they need. They need your dependency on them. Once they get that, control? Just turn the key. It's right there. It's right there. That's why we're doing the things we're doing. That's why he wanted to stop what they're doing. He knows. Well, he knew. So let's take a little bit closer look at some of his earlier debates. This one started circulating right after the picture came out. A lot of people thought it was this guy. It was not this guy, but this is a really, really, really good debate. So.
Lies. Hey, no. He's a liar.
So, okay.
He can't debate. He just
okay,
lies.
so let's just
What,
calm
you don't
down
like
a little
freedom
bit.
of speech?
Well, I mean, you could say whatever you want if you want to make a fool of yourself, but we do have like 10-year-olds here and 11-year-olds, so can we have some decency?
Whatever.
Okay, you don't care. You're a typical leftist because you only care about yourself,
Who said I was
not
a leftist?
about the other people.
Who said I was a leftist?
Well, it's very clear by how you're acting.
Do you even graduate college? You know,
no.
You know
In
this
fact,
guy didn't graduate college?
I didn't go to college. I've been able to be pretty successful
You did
without
not
a 4-year
graduate
degree.
College.
Yeah, I did not go to
You're
college.
going to come to a college and act like you know.
So,
better
are we
than
gonna
everybody?
debate resumes or ideas?
Ideas.
Most college degrees are meaningless, and most of you guys are being totally scammed by being here.
No.
Now, let me further complete the point.
So getting educated is a scam.
First of all, it's not always an education, and you are perfect evidence that you haven't really been educated. You are hyper hostile. You have no humility. You have very little wisdom about how the world works, and you come and you want so badly to be recognized and noticed, you came with your own bullhorn to cut in line someone who patiently waited to ask the first question. What have you actually learned at this institution except that you're the center of the world and everyone must listen to you?
You go to countries, or you go to campuses and agitate people for like this exact scenario.
I sit here and ask questions. You're the agitator, not me.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah, correct. The students want another question, and I do agree with them because you embody the worst of this generation.
Are you looking in the mirror?
I do look in the mirror. You know what I see? I see a sinner that wouldn't act the way you do.
And that right there is just the way it keeps going. Do you see the way they stutter, the way that they break down, the way that they freak out? I mean, seriously, I have been saying this for years. College is a scam, man. It's been a scam. They tell you it's something you need to get a job. It's not something you need to get a job. But if you can get it for free, it's not bad. But let's be realistic. How many jobs in 2025 are requiring a college education at this point? And how many of those companies, if they could pay a little bit less for no college education, would hire the non-college educated person? Doesn't matter. They're going to hire robots, stupid. So yeah, you're being scammed. I said that back in 98 when I graduated high school. I looked at everybody in my family and I'm like, I'm not going to college unless you're paying for it. And they said, we're not paying for it. I go, well, I'm not paying into that scam. And I went to work. 1998, it was a scam to me. It's more of a scam than it ever has been today. The only thing that's educated on those campuses is cucks like that. People that act that way. No common sense, yelling and screaming, and can't use simple words to have a conversation. Instead, you bring a bullhorn to hopefully get your point across. I love the fact that he never backed down, no matter what the situation was. That's what I'm learning about Charlie Kirk. Never backs down. Shows me that I should never back down ever as well. So this I found a little interesting. I wanted to kind of put it in there because I was like, what is this all about? I'm just collecting everything, everybody. So Adam Sandler leaks a heartbreaking message, final text message from Charlie Kirk before the 31-year-old activist was assassinated. So let's see. The 57-year-old comic roles. No one cares about that shit. We all know who Adam Sandler is. I hate how they have to put shit in there. Did he put that in there? I don't know. I guess it was, they're watching me. If I fall, don't let my voice die. So I just wanted to put that out there because that's what all these podcasts are doing today. That's what everybody is doing today. We are not letting Charlie Kirk's voice die. That's what we're all doing today. You know? This is an ode to him. Because I truthfully believe that this was wrong. This is the wrong side of history again. What I want to bring in is the video on this hand signaling right now. Because it's definitely a military signal. Okay, so I'll show you this video first.
In America over the last 10 years.
You see the way his hand? Watch it one more time. There it is, right there. Okay, so you see him hit the hat, right? That is a true signal, you know? They grab the hat, they do a little shake, whatever it happens to be. And the reason that I know that is because baseball has signals like that. Yeah. Umpires, the pitcher, they use all kinds of signals. Certain way that they swipe and do this, the nod up, nod down. It means pitch, hit, stealing, whatever, slide, I don't know, bunt. So hand signals are real. So we're not debating whether or not hand signals are real. I didn't see any other reason except for, I feel like that phone was up and zoomed in on the roof. I think it was zoomed in on the roof and he was waiting for the person to hit the mark. And as soon as he got in place, tipped the hat. Man, it's crazy. But listen to this, everybody. Listen to this, all right? And this is why we know hand signals are real.
Those of us who served in the military are a little bit aware of hand signals being thrown up. And
there it is.
These two men need to really be looked into.
There it is. Sniper.
Some of the
watcher
sniper-looking signals, especially coming from the guy in the white and the guy in the black.
Presence of a male, other hand to face. A single hand held straight out in front of a body with the palm down and moving in a horizontal arc repeatedly means commence firing. When executed rapidly, it means to increase the rate of fire. When executed slowly, it means decrease. Additional context for sniper hand signals. Target identification. Some tactical signals involve pointing at a target. A sniper might point to an area to indicate movement or use a pointing gesture. Jesus Christ. So there was 3 signals. I didn't know there was 3 signals. Oh, there's a 4th signal. A left arm crossing the torso is a military hand signal to indicate immediate danger. It is often repeated multiple times to emphasize the seriousness of a threat. The signal is part of a silent communication system used to field prevention detection to an enemy. Other military hand signals include danger area. So are they trying to say that a left arm crossing a torso can also signal a few different things, depending on the context of a military branch? The most common interpretations are from the immediate danger or signal rest. Signal, crossing their hands or arms repeatedly across the chest. Context, this is used to signal a serious and imminent threat and is often repeated multiple times to ensure team members understand the gravity of the situation. And that was the imminent danger. Rest, signal, placing one hand over the chest and crossing the arms. Context, used in a less urgent general military situation to signal to the unit to take rest.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Wow, dude. So did these two? But again, okay, hold on. I gotta pull back from this because this is where all the stuff is, right? Wasn't this kid only 22? So they're signaling this 22-year-old, the one that went home, told his dad, and his dad turned him in, right? These are the guys signaling a 22-year-old to take out and politically assassinate Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying it's 100% false, but is it not allowed to be a question in today's society? Is it not allowed? I don't know. But it feels, unless this 22-year-old was like some crazy marksman that I did not hear about yet, I don't see these military men signaling to a 22-year-old to take this shot. So I don't know, but it definitely looks like these two were signaling somebody. And according to all the explanations of everything, it definitely, guy in black looks at right. Yeah, see, he's looking over. He's checking out his signals. He looks over and he makes his signals. I'm not going to play any more of the video just because of the simple fact that nobody needs to see it again. Nobody needs to see it again, okay? We've all seen it enough. I just think that's easier said than done sometimes. But so now we're looking at even more footage, and we're looking at the roof, and I'll flip back right now so that you can see where I'm pointing. You may not be able to make it out. If you've seen this video, then you know what I'm talking about. So right here, you're going to see where my pointer is. It may be hard to make out on your phone, but it may be easier on a television. There is a person here. Plus, you've probably already seen this video. But we're looking at the roof. Watch the shooter run. So nobody had a phone at any point in time pointed at the roof. Like, why would you, you know what I mean? So obviously he's down in the front there. So let's just watch the video and you can actually see the runner. So here we go, right from the beginning. Here it is. Right there. Right there, right there, right there. Okay, I'm going to play that without sound this time. You will see. There's a person hanging out right here. You see him? Now, I don't know if that's my runner. Hold on. Because we're looking up here, not here. That's a balcony, and it's got a reflection of the glass in it. Okay, so we're looking up here, above the small tree. There he is, right there. Let's pull that back a little bit. Boop, right there. As I keep pulling it back, see, it just drops out of frame right there. So he must pop the gun and then run. But yep. Yeah, he was stationary for a moment and then he started running. If you watch it. Yeah. Yeah, so there was definitely somebody on that fucking roof. Again, people on a roof at a political rally with nobody around. Hey, assholes, security, police, whatever. Can we check the roofs? Can you do it? Can you do it? Because this is getting ridiculous now. Okay? Fuck, man. How many times? Now, this video, I wanted to see if we had a better angle and see if there's any additional information on the person running off the roof. Because, like I said, supposedly the suspect right now, Tyler, is the shooter. Was he really hired? Is he on the left? Is he trans? I don't know any of the answers to these questions. I heard yes and yes. So maybe yes and yes. But I just wanted to see where this video takes us. So let's see a little bit more here on the angle of the roof. This is a completely different angle of the roof.
Look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that.
Yep, there you go.
Here you see the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that.
Wow.
It's important to know.
Wow, dude. Okay, so, I mean, I'm not really going to continue with this. Got another minute to go, and I don't have many minutes left on this. But, you can see that, hey, but again, was it the kid? Was it the kid? I'm not sure. Because at the end of the day, I'm not seeing a close-up. Oh, here we go. So they replay one part multiple times. Let's go back in because they actually do go a little bit further where they actually follow him through the parking lot. So hold on. There he goes, running up the tree line. He's fumbling with the bag. Supposedly he was taking the gun apart, but then the gun was found all in one piece. That's a little questionable as well. Oh, wow, good. Thank goodness for movable cameras. And then what? Looks like he's just going to walk out into traffic. That's where the video ends? Well, yeah, so no close-up of him. But, Charlie Kirk killed. Alleged shooter identified as Tyler Robinson, 22. There's been a lot of stuff going on about, well, here's what we know about him. Here's this, here's that, here's this. So I don't really think we need to know about the shooter. If there's multiple reasons, maybe why this happened. Maybe it was a political vendetta. Maybe he was hired. Either way, the less we know about this person, the better. As far as I'm concerned, and this is only if this holds to be true, everybody. If he is the shooter, he is it. 1000% guilty. I would like to see him publicly executed as well. We should treat him exactly how we treated Charlie. I do not think that this is a bad thing. I do not see this as, oh my God, no, we can't do that. We got to be better than. At this moment in time, I don't think we have to be better than. We just have to show them that if you want to fight fire with fire, you get fire. I think that's the message they're trying to relay to us, that if we don't shut our mouths, we're going to get fired upon, and we should let them know. Don't give a shit. Don't give a fuck what you say or do, because guess what? We can do the same to you. You know what I mean? So only if it is 1000% it is him, I think that should happen, because I think that's owed to everybody. I think it's owed to everybody, because you didn't just take a life and ruin an audience of 2,000 to 5,000 people, something like that. Maybe I think it was like 2,000 to 5,000 people, which is what you normally would have done in the past. This is rang across the world. There are other countries talking about Charlie Kirk right now. So it's a different time. Might be time for a different message. Only if it's 100%. I'm not going to let you motherfuckers construe my words. Now, let's check this out, because they're giving an update, and this is, as of September 12th. I'm recording on the 13th, and this doesn't come out until 18th. Okay, here we go.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where, in my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene.
Because I'm not going to play any more of that because it goes on for 32 minutes. I was just trying to find something with some more information on it. Not really too much there. They're just going to, basically thank the FBI, blah, 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 blah. Thank you. And I bet you they were not thanking the FBI when the FBI showed up. I don't know. Do you think they actually have a good, relationship? And I like how he was like, well, this is what happens when you let good cops be good cops. Well, maybe if there weren't so many fucking bad cops out there, we wouldn't have a problem with fucking cops. We wouldn't have a problem with good cops being good cops, right? But the problem is that the majority of you are evil. You're evil. So it's hard to let good cops be good cops with so many fucking rotten ones around them. You know what I mean? But I do believe that, that they may have done this in under 36 hours. But again, I just don't know if it's actually him. I have questions, everybody. I have questions. Do they have the right person? Well, right now, they're telling me they do. So I guess I have to kind of believe it a little bit, but there are some things that I am questioning. So they have Tyler Robinson's SoundCloud, everybody. And in the SoundCloud is crazy. Look at this. It's crazy. What a fucking psychopath. Most played track. Charlie Kirk dead at 31. What? It was uploaded to SoundCloud a month ago. He lives in Ogden, Utah, 1 hour drive from where Charlie was shot. If you look at this SoundCloud, you got God's Finest Scalpel, 12 Lock. I guess that's what he called himself. He had a whole bunch of stuff on here. What is God's Finest Scalpel? I Wish You Were Mine. Bass demo. Man. I Am Alone. Okay, so this is something he posted. Sky's Last Triumphant Breath. Format accordingly with regards, your beloved family. I am alone and I can no longer breathe in this shell. God's Finest Scalpel. High school user claimed that the photo came from Google Images. Multiple accounts reporting they may have identified the Charlie Kirk shooter. 4chan suspect Sky Valadez has a SoundCloud with a track that was uploaded with a track a month ago titled Charlie Kirk Dead at 31. Deleted the track and changed his location to Leave Me Alone. Lives in Utah. Dude, not good. You still have a lot of stuff to hide. Obviously, this kid thought he wanted to be a girl at some point, or he was stuck in a shell. He can't breathe. But I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look, I put out a 9/11 post. A short. I put out a 9/11 short. Just questioning something about 9/11. And it was ripped down after 10 views, by the way, and 1 share. Thank you. But it was ripped down. Deleted. Now that's YouTube. Gotcha. I don't use SoundCloud. I don't produce music. But just my title got a video taken down. Why is that title okay? Why was that not a flag for that social media? Why is that not something questionable for that platform? Why? I don't know. Maybe because, maybe I'll look at Rumble then. Maybe Rumble's got some crazy titles out there too. Did anybody put in their title of anything that they wanted Charlie Kirk dead at 31? And if they did, would that have flagged anything for any platform out there besides YouTube, the most restrictive platform there is? All right, so what I want to start off with when we get into this part of of everything is I want you to see the amount of people that were just praying for his family and his kids. We were listening to everything in the truck on the way home. We were like an hour and 30 minutes away where we put in the fence, and we listened to it all the way home, and they had a moment of silence, and I will say that truck was dead silent. I don't pray very often. I don't do it. Am I shaking or is the table shaking? I'm shaking, obviously. But I don't pray very often, but I will take a moment of silence. I will, just sit there and I don't know if I'm praying or not. I may just be thinking, good thoughts for them, but I don't know if it's considered praying. I consider it to be just thinking and being respectful of the moment of silence. But this right here is a bunch of Liberty students gathering to pray for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. And this is just a small portion of people that felt and feel the way most of us do today.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Dude, I don't know if this is hitting anybody like it's hitting me right now, but man, this is sad, everybody. It's fucking sad. And this is what the other side's been doing. Okay? This is what's going on. I don't even know. I just got to play it because it blows my mind that after all of that, there can still be this.
The day after Charlie Kirk's murder, we're here at Georgia Tech University in Atlanta, Georgia, and the first thing I see when I come to the campus is the fall of the Trump fascist regime, beginning November 5th, 2025. RefuseFascism.org needs to be investigated. 2028 is way too late. Trump must go now. If you walk with me here, we have another sign. This is the scary part. The time has come for the fall of the Trump fascist regime, beginning November 5th. No, in the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. All over the campus, similar signs. No, in the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. RefuseFascism.org, followed by a sign that we already read. This is happening all over this campus. So you gotta ask yourself, when you see posters like this nonstop, what are they advocating for? Are they inciting certain events that we have seen recently? The time has come for the fall of the Trump fascist regime. The time has come. I want to say that again. The time has come. That is what left-leaning organizations on college campuses at Georgia Tech are propagating to college students. So when I walk around and I ask students, do you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk? And they say no, it's most likely because of stuff like this.
I mean, you can't make this stuff up, dude. This is what's happening. I don't understand. He did say that we need to review this website. Hold on a second. Look at that, everybody. It's right here. Okay, so home, refusefascism.com. Let's see what the fuck this is. The time has come for the fall of the Trump fascist regime, beginning November 5th, 2025 in Washington, D.C. Fascism is not a looming threat. It's upon us now. Beginning November 5th, the one-year anniversary of Trump's election, flood D.C. in a non-violent protest. Don't stop until Trump is removed. What the fuck am I reading? Subscribe, volunteer, donate? Oh my God. What am I looking at, everybody? This is what they're pushing on college campuses, everybody. Look at this bullshit. Holy fuck, man. I will add that link in as well. I can't believe this shit. This is crazy. It's not fascism, you fucking morons. This is democracy. This is what we voted for. You don't get to take away our vote. You have to wait for your turn. But unfortunately, I believe you have all solidified where you're at. And unfortunately, more people are going to keep you where you are. Because none of us want your violent actions brought towards any of us. And I think all of this right here is going to help my message a little bit. Because, I mean, if this is what they're doing right now, and I don't understand how these videos are allowed to stay up either. But I guess that's the whole thing, right? Because I don't like being censored. So why should we censor anything? It should all be out there, right? So that we can all look at everything from every side and make our own decisions the best that we can from the information that we have. So for me to sit here and say, I can't believe these videos are still out there is kind of silly for me to say too, because I get so mad when my stuff gets taken down when I'm obviously asking a question and not stating a fact. So, but these people are stating facts. These people are, well, you got to watch for yourself, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Watch this.
Yo, I heard a fucking Nazi just got shot in the neck. Is he dead yet?
Gather round, bitches. Let's all join hands and bow our heads in thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk. Thoughts and prayers for Charlie Kirk.
I don't feel bad about Charlie Kirk getting shot, and if you think I'm a bad person for that...
The difference between liberals and conservatives is we actually have hearts for people, no matter who you are in this country. When Melissa Hortman, the Democratic senator, lost her life, you didn't have conservatives being on TikTok and Instagram cheering for the unaliving of that senator. You want to know why? Even though we don't agree with your political views, we're still people, and we understand those people who lose their lives are family members, loved ones, mom and dad. But the people who are coming on these apps and going after Charlie Kirk after he lost his life yesterday, when he's a father, and it's not even the fact that, like, yes, he was a political commentator, but he's a father of 2 young children. Mm-hmm. You just don't have a heart at this point. You don't have to like someone because of their political views, but you can at least have a heart. You can understand, you know, like, hey, we might not have agreed, but, you know, at the end of the day, he's still a father, he's still someone's son, and that's the difference. You guys just don't care. You're all demonic. I find it ironic that Charlie Kirk called his company Turning Point USA. And unfortunately, after yesterday's events, I think America is finally going to turn and realize to wake up and realize that the liberals in this country are the reason for the division and so much hate. Just from these videos, you can see how evil these Democrats can be. You don't have to get on a platform just because you dislike someone and hate them. But the fact that you're on here cheering for someone who lost their life is vile. I don't even know what I would call it at this point. It's just disgusting.
And that I agree with 100%. This is all very disgusting. And man, I don't know. I agree with everything this man just said. I agree with everything he just said, because it's really crazy at the end of the day that you think of these politicians or actors and actresses or anybody that is up on a pedestal, I'll say, that you just think that they're like a puppet. They're I don't know. You think they're fake or something. You don't actually put human in the sentence when you talk about them. We are all humans at the end of the day. We are all here because I don't know fucking why, but we're all here. And he was a dad. He was a son. And you can't look at that and just have some type of a heart. All you care about is the fact that his voice has been shut off, but it hasn't. All you did was amplify his voice now. It doesn't matter if he can't speak anymore. His message is ringing loud and clear today. And if it turns out that it's because your political side had no longer could use your voice, you no longer could use your voice, it's pretty devastating for your side. You're not going to have much to lean on. And I mean, it is just gross. It is just gross that you can look at a human life the way we all did on September 11th after 12:20 p.m. and not have some sympathy. Whew. It's a dark day. It's a dark, dark day. And this is some more of it. I really want you guys to understand what is happening out there. And some of you probably going to like this segment more than the rest of it, but I feel like for the majority of everybody here, this is disturbing, disgusting, and it shows no empathy or heart for any other human except for themselves.
We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck. Who's up next? We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck. Who's up next? We got Charlie in the neck.
Wow. Jesus Christ, man. Where the fuck is society today? Now, could that have been something done because they knew that was going to trend? I don't know, man, but I really don't believe that. I believe that they wanted to do this because they are happy that this guy is dead. But that got 6.6 million just on X. And that was a TikTok. So whether you're doing it for clout or not, I mean, that's so disturbing. It's so disturbing. And it's not over. Nope, not over, because they're also saying this, which is crazy to me, that these things were being said by the leftist side in 2020. Look at this. Insane, dude. Insane, these people.
We have to start calling his supporters racist as well. That
wow, really?
That MAGA symbol has come to represent something. It is the new Nazi symbol. It is the new hood.
Because they're not a party, right? They're Sinn Féin to the IRA. They're the PLO to Hamas. They're a dime store front for a terrorist movement.
The Republican Party is basically a domestic terrorist cell at this point, and they should be treated as such.
There are elements of the GOP that are starting to look like the jihadists.
Not a political party. They're a white nationalist movement. They're a fascist threat to our nation. That's not hyperbolic. That's academic.
Would have once seemed hyperbolic, but it increasingly does feel like the Republican Party has become a death cult, and it's all about Donald Trump.
There is no alternative right now because the Republican Party project today
is a fascist authoritarian project.
Fact is, Republicans in Congress are still in the grip of
This
the ultra
fucking guy.
MAGA agenda.
Party of dupes, party of knuckleheads, party of weirdos, party of freaks. So that is a simple message. And underneath that, it's the party of nothing.
It has become an authoritarian embracing cult. It is fascist.
We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with their allies in the Congress of the United States.
Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans, wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye, just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and
The old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, and you compare them to those nondescript thugs who grabbed that graduate student, it does look like a Gestapo operation. You know, my dad served in Second World War. He fought the Nazis in Northern Africa. He fought the Nazis on the Italian peninsula. And I think he's looking down right now and he's happy that I'm fighting today's Nazis.
Because if we just roll this clock on the wall back 75 years, we'd be looking at a time in Nazi Germany where people ran around with signs like this new ICE sign that says, report all foreign invaders to ICE, with Uncle Sam there holding up the sign. This could have been a Gestapo member 75 years ago. Report all Jews.
It's not just that Donald Trump poses a threat to democracy. It's that Donald Trump only cares about himself. This is a populist looking to serve his own interests and harm other people and dismantle our democracy and make it just about himself. This is a guy who's doing it on behalf of Putin.
Do you think Trump cares about any of his supporters? I think he's only ever cared about himself. He's still a greasy pig.
He's still a greasy pig.
He said that a hallmark of strongman leaders is they don't care about their followers. Loathes Donald Trump. Things like a lunatic and a criminal, someone corrupt who's bankrupted people. That the goal for all of us to save our republic has to be to keep Donald Trump far away, make sure he never gets anywhere near the Oval Office again.
The threat that Donald Trump is to this nation.
Cult of authoritarian personality in league with autocrats and kleptocrats and dictators all over the world. Everybody has to follow Donald Trump like a monarch. That's what the election is going to be about. Democracy and freedom versus dictatorship and authoritarianism.
Do we want to remain a democracy, or do we want to take this hard turn into an autocracy and taking direct aim at our democracy? There are autocratic-leaning remarks he has made in recent weeks and months, such as ones that echo Hitler.
Extreme measures taken to fundamentally change the course of the country, or we're all going to die. Trying to get rid of the form of government that we have and install something else.
To the degree that the country's in any decline, it is the threat of a second Trump term. America becoming a threat, which is what it becomes, a threat to the world order if Trump is reelected, is a known, to quote Don Rumsfeld. America can survive one Trump term. It won't survive a second.
It was a primary, didn't work out to oust Donald Trump. There was a chance for leaders like Mitch McConnell to literally have Donald Trump barred from ever holding federal office again. They didn't do it. The Republican Party will not save us here. We cannot wait for the Republican Party to wake up. Nothing is going to happen inside the Republican Party other than efforts to get Donald Trump what he wants, which is to get rid of our form of government. The only way the country gets saved is if Republicans, our project of the Republican Party is to install a strongman form of government in the United States and get rid of democracy. And that is the project of electing Donald Trump. What we've learned from history is that, no, there isn't a magic bullet. The courts don't save you. No individual institution saves you. All that stuff. Hitler in 1933 was talking about his designs on America. And Hitler described you could get Americans to give up their own democracy and to be ready for a fascist takeover. Haunting. And that's what Hitler himself explained. Part of the Hitlerian conspiracy for Americans getting rid of their democracy. And this stuff doesn't change. It's the same playbook. It's a disaster. We need extreme measures. I mean, it's just that simple.
Adam Kinzinger was just tweeting about Trump's speech. He said he'll be gone in a year. But what do you do about all the people that are now conditioned to have an appetite and hunger for a strong man?
Donald Trump was mulling whether our national abortion ban was going to be 15 weeks or 16
He's looking for a number he likes.
He likes 16 because it's round.
Yeah.
Some of the most fundamental decisions you will ever make in your life, with massive relational consequences, massive consequences, intergenerational consequences for your family, huge economic consequences. The basic freedoms of your life should be decided by Donald Trump deciding which number he thinks looks prettier when it's embroidered on a hat.
All right, everybody. I let that whole fucking thing play out because that is a whole bunch of BS. This is why I don't listen to as much politics as I probably should, but this is absolutely insane. So from 2020 until today, they have been yelling fascist movement, monarch, oligarch, democracy is dead. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Do you understand if you had anything to do with Charlie Kirk's death, you have killed democracy. Literally. We are not in danger of our democracy falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. Our democracy has been falling apart long before Donald Trump. Our democracy has been attacked since Reagan, since JFK got murdered, and it's always the same background that is changing and diminishing it. And that is all of the acronym groups. And CIA is on top of that list. I believe that there is way more to this than ever before. They may want to dismantle our democracy, but I do not believe it's going to be with Donald Trump. If anything, according to most of the charts that I've looked at today, everybody is leaning red because blue has literally gone insane. You are trying to include everybody, and I get it. ICE is terrible. It is. I don't think it's good. But it's not all bad. They're not all innocent. They're not all mistakenly taken off the streets. And unfortunately, like we do here in America, always, is we just act. We act. We do the thing that needs to be done. And when we're all done, there's some people that may or may not have, gotten involved that should or should not have. It happens all the time with everything that we do. I'm not justifying ICE. I'm not justifying anything that's going on. I think I've worded my opinion pretty well on that situation. We're not here for that today. But I do have to say that these liberals, these Democrats, yelling this word over and over and over again. So what? I'm a Nazi? I'm not a Nazi. I don't understand this. How can you just throw a word around? Everything. Go back to 1933. Hitler. Hey, guess what? Go and listen to that speech. Translate it to English. And then tell me how bad Hitler was. How about Gestapo? Go and check that one out. You know who wound up being the bad guys in that one? Oh, yeah, us. There is always a hidden agenda for everything that we're doing. But when you keep yelling a specific word or words over and over and over again, and this is all the people are listening to, how can we expect them not to think a specific way? When you're constantly driving down their throat that Trump's a fascist, everybody who voted for him is a Nazi, and your democracy is in danger. Well, to get the reaction that we got on September 11th at 12:20 in the afternoon, that's your fault. You made this monster. And now you're all going to suffer the consequences. Because, yeah, you're right. Trump can't get voted in again. But I do not see the Democratic Party getting a leg up this time around. If anything, keep your eyes on the preliminaries. Because wherever the preliminaries go, the election's going to go even further. And I'm telling you right now, blue is going to be very little. I think it's going to be very little. I think the world got turned off September 11th. I really do. It's so insane to me. Starting to lose my voice, everybody. Woo! This one here, and, I wanted to just kind of paint a picture here for everybody after all the information we've gathered today and everything that we've gone over. This doesn't go without saying that democracy works when we use our words. That's how it works. We talk about subjects, we debate the subject, and then we come to a decision, hopefully collectively. But most of the time, everybody, most of the time, one side believes strongly one way and one side believes strongly the other way, and there is no meeting in the middle. But you can't allow your emotions and your frustrations to take over and take a life. And maybe I need to take advice from my own fucking words that I'm using right now. Because now I have damaged furniture and a broken chair from allowing my anger to get the best of me. And I believe that's what happened here. One side allowed their anger to get to a point that it boiled over and they made a wrong decision. But how is it possible for that to be a wrong decision when someone has been fed the same information in the same tall tale for 5 years? Very tough. But this right here popped up, and I wanted everybody to see it because it's true. Look at Jesus Christ, Charlie Kirk, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, and Abraham Lincoln. They were all shot because of their words. Because of words, everybody. Words. So, that's so sad to me, right? It's so sad to me that all it took was words. And somebody thought that, the gun was going to prove so much more. The only thing that the gun proved was that their side is more accurate. Their side is more correct. And you are losing the fight. So that's what you proved. Now, I did not talk about, I think it's Iryna Zarutska. She is a 23-year-old woman who is a Ukraine refugee that we all saw a video of. She was working a job at some pizzeria or something. She was still in uniform, just looking at her phone, minding her business. And that black man smacked her upside the back of the head and then stabbed her to death. To survive a war in Ukraine and to only be murdered in America is so grotesque, everybody. It's so gross. For what reason? Right? Will we ever know? Will that man ever serve justice for what he has done? as you can see, we don't kick everybody out of the country, people. And we do have empathy for people that have come into this country that are trying to do things the way that they're supposed to. But maybe I was wrong when I said everybody that was here for long amounts of time and made family and did roots, whatever, should stay here and should be given a green card. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they need to be looked into. Maybe the backgrounds need to be dug into a little deeper. Maybe there are some sleeper cells here. Maybe there are cartel members. Maybe most of the people that got through the border are violent offenders. I don't know. But what I do believe is that if you are scooped up and it is provable that you should be released, then you should be released. You should be released. You should be given your cards. You should be given everything. And you should be given a giant fucking apology. But if you have any remote ties to anything that we deem worrisome or violent or a threat to America, then I do. Bye-bye. See you later. You know? But she didn't deserve to be stabbed like that. You know? But that also happened on August 22nd of 2025. Her name did not even get brought back up until, I think it was a day before Charlie Kirk died. I started seeing the video going around. The president spoke out about it, said that they want to get that killer. And then all of a sudden, Charlie Kirk gets shot. And then we're dealing with a whole nother mess right on top of that one. August 22nd of 2025 till 9/10/25. Almost an entire month for her to get any acknowledgement. So I wanted to give some more acknowledgement because it's terrible that these things are happening in our country. But guess what, everybody? Unfortunately, this is also reality. Why do you think it's such a bad idea for parents today to put you in a bubble and to tell you that the world is so perfect and you are perfect and you're going to make it when you get older? It's a terrible way to raise your children, everybody. I'm not saying to expose them to this type of shit. But what I am saying is you got to have a little bit of reality in there. You got to get them prepared. Because if you think this is bad now, wait till they're actually driving. Wait till they're actually capable of voting. Wait till they're actually capable of drinking or smoking pot, whatever age, 21. What world are they living in at that point in time? We don't even know because it's the future, right? But remember both of these people, everybody. Remember both of these people. Because you can't silence an opinion by ending a life. You only prove its weight. And I don't know if that's a Charlie Kirk quote, but it's a fucking true quote. So I know this was a little heavy. I had to do a lot to make this happen. And I'm just, I'm not worried for democracy, but I am worried that this is going to brew more violence. And I just think at the end of the day, everybody, if we're having a political thing, can we please have some fucking guards on the roof? Huh? And one other thing I got to say, too, on all of this. Enticing college students to be debt-free, to become ICE agents, is disgusting and wrong. And the same goes for the military and everybody else. To hang that carrot in front of everybody just so you can get more fucking people through your door is grotesque, I think. I think it's just gross. And I've seen both of the signs, and I don't like either of them. Because the reason that they're in debt is because of you. Yeah, that's right. Maybe not the military, maybe not ICE itself, but it's because of our government and those loans that they walked all those 18-year-olds into on purpose, and then they got stuck with the fucking bill, and now these government corporations were like, hey, we put them in debt. They're stuck in debt, but they want to get out of debt. We got a way. Here you go. Want to get out of debt? Join ICE. Join the military. Join the government. The people that gave you the debt is now giving you a way out of the debt by joining them. So let that sit. Think about it, right? Was that not by design? And you tell me college is not a scam, everybody. Wow. I just don't even know. I don't even know, everybody, but you know what I do know? I got to get going now, everybody. So thank you to all of my subscribers out there. You are the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, remember to subscribe. You want to tell your story or be a guest, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Link trees in the description below the video, along with all of today's links discussed on this podcast. And of course, don't forget about the mailbox guys found on Facebook and Instagram, Cryptid and Kin on Instagram. And I hope everybody out there enjoys the rest of your Thursday. I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend. And as always, I'll talk to you next week.